My girlfriend laughed and said, "My colleague buys me coffee every day. You really need to catch up." I replied, "You're right." So I sent him a small thank you card with a $25 gift card for taking care of her. The next thing I knew, her HR manager was calling her in a panic. I'm 29, and I'd been with my girlfriend Emily for about 2 years when this whole thing started unraveling. We met at a friend's party, started dating pretty casually, and then it turned serious around the 6-month mark. She worked at a mid-sized marketing firm downtown, had her own apartment, and we'd spend most weekends together bouncing between her place and mine. Things were good for a while. Normal couple stuff. Date nights, lazy Sundays, occasional arguments about whose turn it was to pick the restaurant. Nothing major. But about 4 months ago, I started noticing changes. Small things at first. She'd come home from work talking about this guy named Brandon. Brandon said this funny thing in the meeting. Brandon recommended this new lunch spot. Brandon thinks I should ask for a raise. Brandon. I didn't think much of it initially. People talk about their coworkers. It's normal. But then it became every day. Every single conversation somehow circled back to Brandon. And she started dressing differently for work. More effort. Better outfits. New perfume I'd never seen her wear on our dates. One night, about 6 weeks ago, we were having dinner at her apartment. I'd picked up Thai food on my way over. We were eating on her couch, some Netflix show playing in the background that neither of us was really watching. "Brandon bought me coffee again today," she said, scrolling through her phone. "Again?" I asked. "How many times has he bought you coffee?" "I don't know. Every day this week? He's just really nice like that." "Every day?" "Yeah. He stops by my desk in the morning and asks what I want. Then he goes to the coffee shop downstairs and brings it back. It's sweet." I put my fork down. "That's a lot of coffee." She looked up from her phone, half smiling. "Are you jealous?" "Should I be?" "No, don't be ridiculous. He's just a colleague. A friend. Do you buy him coffee?" "Sometimes. Not as much as he buys me, I guess." She laughed, like it was funny. "He's just really generous. You could learn a thing or two from him, honestly. You really need to catch up." I stared at her. "Catch up?" "I'm kidding. Sort of. I just mean it's nice when someone does thoughtful things, you know?" I didn't respond. I finished my food in silence. She went back to her phone. The show played on. I felt something shift in my chest. Something I couldn't quite name yet. The next morning, Saturday, I woke up at her place and she was already on her phone, texting someone and smiling. "Who's that?" I asked. "Brandon. He's asking if I want to grab brunch tomorrow since we're both working on that project." "Tomorrow's Sunday." "Yeah, but the project's due Monday. We need to finish it." "Can't you do that at the office?" "We could, but brunch sounds nicer. It's just work stuff." I got up, made myself coffee, tried to shake off the unease. But it sat there, heavy in my gut. Over the next 2 weeks, she canceled on me 3 times. Once for a team happy hour that Brandon organized. Once for a late work session with Brandon. Once because she was too tired after Brandon had taken her and a few other coworkers to some networking event. I wasn't stupid. I saw what this was. But I didn't want to be that guy. The paranoid boyfriend. The jealous, controlling guy. So I kept quiet. I watched. I waited. Then came the night that broke me. It was a Wednesday, about 3 weeks ago. Emily and I had plans for dinner. I'd made a reservation at this Italian place she'd been wanting to try for months. I confirmed with her that morning. She said she'd meet me there at 7. 7 p.m. came. No Emily. I texted her. No response. 7:15, 7:30. I called, straight to voicemail. At 7:45, she finally texted, "So sorry, got caught up at work. Brandon and I are finishing the presentation." Rain check. I sat there alone at the table with 2 menus and a candle burning between them. The waiter came by twice asking if I wanted to order. I left at 8, paid for the glass of wine I'd ordered while waiting, and drove home. She didn't call that night, didn't text, just radio silence. The next morning, I woke up to a text from her. Sorry about last night. Work was crazy. Let's do dinner this weekend to make up for it. I didn't reply right away. Instead, I started thinking, really thinking, about the coffee, the late nights, the brunch on Sundays, the way she talked about him, the way she'd started comparing me to him. And then I had an idea. That afternoon, I went to Target, bought a blank thank you card, one of those generic ones with flowers on the front. I wrote inside, "Hi Brandon, just wanted to say thank you for taking such good care of Emily. The daily coffee runs, the work sessions, the networking events, I really appreciate you stepping up. Here's a little something to show my gratitude. Emily's boyfriend." Then I tucked a $25 Starbucks gift card inside and sealed it. I looked up Emily's company online, found the address, and mailed it directly to Brandon at the office. Addressed it clearly. Brandon, last name, marketing department. Then I waited. Update 1. 4 days later, on Monday morning, Emily called me at 9:30. I was at my own desk working when her name flashed across my screen. "Hey," I answered. "What the hell did you do?" Her voice was shaking, not sad, angry. "What are you talking about? You sent Brandon a card? With a gift card? Why would you do that?" I was just being polite. "He's been so generous with you. Thought I'd say thanks. Do you have any idea what you just did?" Enlightened me. HR called him in this morning. Someone saw the card on his desk and reported it. They thought it was from me that I was sending him gifts. Now they're investigating whether we're having an inappropriate workplace relationship. I leaned back in my chair. "Are you?" "What? No, we're colleagues, friends. Then why is HR concerned? Because of optics. Because he's been buying me coffee every day, and now there's a gift card and a card signed by Emily's boyfriend, and everyone thinks something's going on. Is something going on? No! Oh my God, why don't you trust me? Maybe because you blew me off for him 3 times in 2 weeks. Maybe because you ditched our dinner reservation to work late with him. Maybe because every conversation we have starts and ends with Brandon." She went quiet. "Emily, if nothing's going on, why are you so upset?" "Because you made me look bad at work. HR is treating this like I'm some kind of, I don't know, like I'm having an affair with a coworker." "Are you?" "I'm not doing this with you right now. I have to go deal with this." She hung up. I sat there staring at my phone for a long time. Then I got back to work. Update 2. Emily didn't contact me for 3 days. No texts, no calls, nothing. I didn't reach out either. I figured if she wanted to talk, she knew where to find me. On Thursday night, she finally showed up at my apartment. I opened the door and she was standing there with her arms crossed, still in her work clothes. "Can I come in?" "Sure." She walked past me into the living room but didn't sit down, just stood there, looking exhausted. "I got called into HR again today," she said. "They wanted to know the full extent of my relationship with Brandon." "And what did you tell them?" "The truth. That we're just friends, that he's been nice to me, that there's nothing inappropriate going on." "Did they believe you?" "I don't know. They put us both on notice, said if there are any more incidents that suggest favoritism or a personal relationship, they'll have to take action. They moved him to a different project team. We're not allowed to work together anymore." "That's probably for the best." She looked at me, eyes blazing. "You did this on purpose. I sent a thank you card. You knew what would happen. You knew it would blow up like this. Did I? Or did you create a situation where a simple thank you card could blow up like this?" "I didn't do anything wrong." "Emily, be honest with yourself. If there was nothing going on, why was he buying you coffee every single day? Why were you going to brunch with him on Sundays? Why were you spending more time with him than with me?" "Because he pays attention to me. Because he listens when I talk. Because he makes me feel appreciated." There it was, the truth. hanging in the air between us. "And I don't?" I asked quietly. She didn't answer. "Emily, if you wanted more attention from me, you should have said something. Instead, you started emotionally checking out of our relationship and into whatever this thing is with Brandon. Maybe you're not sleeping with him, maybe it's not physical, but you were having an emotional affair. And you know it." Her face crumpled. She sat down on my couch, head in her hands. "I didn't mean for it to happen. I know. He made me feel special, like I mattered. You do matter. To me. But you stopped letting me in. You stopped caring about us. You cared more about impressing him than spending time with me." "I know," she whispered. "I'm sorry." We sat there in silence for a long time. Then she stood up. "I should go." "Yeah." She walked to the door, stopped, looked back at me. "Are we done?" "I think we've been done for a while, Emily. You just didn't want to admit it." She nodded. Then she left. Update 3. It's been 3 weeks since Emily walked out of my apartment. We haven't spoken since. No texts, no calls, no "let's try to be friends" conversation. Just clean silence. Through mutual friends, well, one mutual friend who still talks to both of us, I heard that Emily and Brandon are no longer working together at all. HR's investigation didn't find any concrete policy violations, but the optics were bad enough that they recommended a formal separation of their professional responsibilities. Brandon apparently wasn't thrilled about it and has been pretty cold to Emily ever since. Turns out when the fun flirtation becomes a professional liability, people lose interest fast. Emily also apparently told our mutual friend that she made mistakes in our relationship and that she wished she'd handled things differently. Not quite an apology, but close enough for her, I guess. As for me, I'm doing fine. Honestly, better than I expected. The first week was rough. I kept expecting her to text, kept looking at my phone hoping for some kind of closure conversation that never came. But then the second week hit, and I realized I felt lighter. I wasn't anxious anymore. Wasn't wondering where she was, or who she was with, or whether I was being paranoid. I went out with some friends last weekend, met someone at a bar, just talked for an hour. Nothing serious, but it reminded me what it felt like to have someone actually engaged in a conversation with me. Someone who wasn't constantly checking their phone or talking about some other guy. I've been thinking a lot about that night Emily said Brandon made her feel appreciated. The thing is, I did appreciate her. I showed up. I made plans. I tried. But she was so busy looking for validation from someone new and shiny that she stopped seeing what was right in front of her. People ask me if I regret sending that card, if I think it was petty or manipulative. Honestly, number. Did I know it might cause problems? Sure. But I wasn't trying to ruin her career or blow up her life. I was just tired of being invisible in my own relationship, tired of watching her light up for someone else while I got the leftovers. That card forced the situation into the open. It made her confront what she was doing. And yeah, it embarrassed her. But sometimes embarrassment is the only thing that cuts through denial. I don't know what Emily's doing now. I don't know if she learned anything from this, or if she's already found another Brandon to boost her ego. I don't really care. That chapter of my life is closed. Final update. It's been 2 months since the card incident. I'm genuinely in a good place now. I've been focusing on myself, hitting the gym more, reading books I've been meaning to get to, reconnecting with friends I'd neglected while I was trying to save a relationship that was already dead. Last week I ran into Emily at a coffee shop. Of all places, right? She was alone, picking up an order. We made eye contact. For a second, I thought about just leaving, but I decided to be an adult about it. "Hey," I said. "Hey." She looked uncomfortable. "How are you?" "Good. You?" "I'm okay. Work's been complicated." I heard. Awkward silence. "Look," she said, lowering her voice. I know I messed up. With us. With everything. I got caught up in something that felt exciting, and I lost sight of what actually mattered. I'm sorry. I appreciate that. Do you think we could ever— No, I said. Not meanly, just honestly. I don't. She nodded, eyes down. Yeah, I figured. I hope things get better for you, Emily. I really do. But we're not good for each other. We probably never were. Maybe you're right. She grabbed her coffee and left. I stayed, ordered my own, sat by the window. And for the first time in months, I felt completely at peace with how everything turned out. Sometimes a $25 gift card is all it takes to expose the truth. And sometimes the truth, no matter how messy, is exactly what you need to move on. Edit. A lot of people are asking if I knew the card would trigger an HR investigation. Honestly, I didn't know for sure, but I suspected it might raise questions. Most companies have policies about gifts between colleagues, especially if there's any implication of favoritism or a personal relationship. I figured at minimum it would make Brandon uncomfortable and force Emily to confront what she was doing. Did it go further than I expected? Maybe. But I don't feel bad about it. Edit 2. For those saying I should have just broken up with her instead of playing games, I tried talking to her multiple times. She dismissed my concerns every time, called me jealous, told me I was overreacting. Sometimes people don't listen to words. Sometimes they need to face consequences before they'll acknowledge reality. That card was a consequence. And it worked.